especially in the handyman business. I don't know. I got 2 tubes of caulk. 2 tubes of caulk right now would run you $14 and
Cock has an L in it.
huh?
Go ahead.
No, not the cock I talk about. What?
Jeez.
Hey, if you don't use your finger to smooth it out at the end, it ain't right. I,
Right.
I've already. Hey, I've trained all my handymen. We have potty talk once a year, and then we have caulk talk, and we talk cocks. And I'm like, look, they all come in different sizes, different size tubes. Size doesn't matter. Okay, they're all different colors. There's black, there's white, there's sanded. Oh my God! But you know what you got to do is you got to always make sure you crack the tip, and then when you crack the tip, you got to make sure it's oozing out the right way because you got to have constant flow. Welcome to the Small Business Safari, where I help guide you to avoid those traps, pitfalls, and dangers that lurk when navigating the wild world of small business ownership. I'll share those gold nuggets of information and invite guests to help accelerate your ascent to that mountaintop of success. It's a jungle out there, and I want to help you traverse through the levels of owning your own business that can get you bogged down and distract you from hitting your own personal and professional goals. So strap in, adventure team, and let's take a ride through the safari and get you to the mountaintop. Alan, it's always a good day when I get to sit with you. For those everybody out there listening, getting to hang around a little bit. Somebody asked me, "Hey man, does this podcast really is it making money for you?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Does going to the bar, drinking beers with your boys, that make money for you?" And I tell you, they talk about this adage: you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with every day. And I just was on a podcast, and the guy brought that same thing up. And I said, "You know what's cool about doing the podcast, especially getting a chance to get together with Alan?" is I get to get out of my day to day and the grind of running my biz and starting to talk a little bit about things that could be. And you know what? This is fun. This is like going to have a round of golf, which you still aren't going to be able to come to my course. But we'll, in fact,
I'm gonna
we
come
had a
under
chance.
assume name.
We had a chance to play today, and I said, "I'm sorry, we're busy. We're podcasting." And those guys are like, "Come on, you can play golf with us." And they said we had an extra spot. I'm like, "No, I'm definitely not bringing Alan because I'd rather talk to this guest today."
Because my swing is too good. And
It
you
was.
don't even
It
want to
is
admit it.
smooth as butter.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it, but no, but you talk about you guys, and it's happened again. I had 2 more people in the last week alone contact me.
Really?
Yeah, one is a guy who says, "Hey, I've got this screen door product, and I'm trying to figure out how to make a market for it, and how to push it." And so I flagged him because I'm gonna have to really look into it because just right off the rip, I said, well, in your email, I don't even know what your website is. So I don't even know how to go look at it. So send me that back and then I'll get started. And another one, I talked to him for about 45 minutes. He is a young man trying to scale a handyman business and was picking my brain about scaling. He goes, Chris, I'm going to go from 3 to 10 in a year. And I'm like, yeah. And I know he's listening. Yeah, it's going to be really hard. AKA, nice try, but I think you want to think about the scales and how it works. And then I got on another guy's podcast, and he starts telling me about a guy he took from 0 to 14 million in 4 years. And your eyes light up, right? You're like, oh, I want to be that guy because I've been doing it for 16 years, and I'm up at 6 million. I was like, oh, I said, but you know what? Everybody hears when they hear that 0 to 14 is that you're on a hockey stick. You're on just a total incline the whole way. I said, and that's not what I have found. When I talk about scaling, is that we go up a little bit and then you go down a little bit maybe, and you go
You
up
go
a little
down because
bit.
you got to reinvest in your business, and you
Yeah,
go backwards to go forward.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's the part about scaling. I think
Inchworm.
people don't realize that it takes a lot of little things to make that breakthrough overnight success, and it just took me 15 years.
You're doing great though.
Thanks. So, all right, guys, we have a problem, and we are going to be right back after these messages. All right, Spaz. All right, Spaz is back from his mental attack. All right, don't touch the computer while you're talking because you got too excited. Because let's introduce our guest. We have had Uzair on before, but he says my friends call him Uzi. But
I like Uzi.
well, we got to ask him: are we friends?
You're friends. You can call me
Hey, we
Uzi.
could call him Uzi.
There you
We got
go.
Uzair
He's
Ahmed on.
Canadian. They're friends with everybody.
Yeah, man, come on. Everybody's happy. So we're doing this. We're getting it going. I'm working on some things here on the. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll figure out what we're doing here in a minute. But we got Uzi back on because he came and talked to us and blew our mind about what is really going on with AI. And you actually said something, Uzi. You didn't know this was coming. I was saving this one that I keep talking about. is that Uzi, I mean, we're not going to do his background. You got to go check out his pod from a couple episodes. It's
Can
back
you
about
put
a
a
year
link
ago.
down below?
Of course I will. Link's going to be down below in the notes
Sure it
because I'm
will.
so technical.
Just scroll all the way down until you
All the way
find
down.
Uzair.
So here's what he said. He said, I'm running a mobile mechanic business and it's working, and I'm doing good, but I can't scale it. I can't scale to where I want to be, where I can take my hands off the wheel and really. And he was like next level thinking about what he was going to do. And he said, so I'm going to get into developing a process and a system for HVAC companies that utilizes AI, but not just going to give you a system that's AI. I'm going to reinvent, I'm going to tell you how your processes ought to work so you can go, and then I can scale that business and hit different multiples. And I was like, man, that thought process is just amazing because you can say, hey, I'm just a handyman, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add two guys. And you're like, in Uzi's mentality, and actually, I thought that the same way. I'm like, no, I need to add like 20 people, but I need to have my hands off it, have managers doing things because if I'm truly going to scale it, I've got to make it simpler. I got to be able to leverage some technology, but I got to have the right processes. And that is just a great lesson. So, Uzi, thanks for sharing that one with me, and thanks for coming back on. And hopefully, I got it right because by the time I got done telling the story about your AI stuff, I had people cleaning houses with robots.
Yeah, that could happen too. There are robots out there. You guys see the Tesla show?
I did.
Yeah,
What
I'm
did you
just
think of
saying.
that?
I'm I have a Model Y right now, and I love it so much that I'm gonna get another one of the exact same cars because it drives itself and it's moving so fast every update that comes along. So I'm thinking like 3 years, I'm gonna have that robot in my house.
That's
I'm gonna
crazy
say,
stuff, man. So 3 years, you've said that when you were on, and it's been about a year since we had you on talking about the AI, and you said, I got about, I think you said 2 years, and and you're like, hey, man, you told us right before we got on, dude, it went even faster than I thought.
6 months, you
it's
said.
So why don't you
it's
talk a little bit about what you developed there? Because we're going to talk about subscriptions and how they can work in your business and get into that methodology for a little bit. But talk a little bit about what you built.
So remember back in the day we talked about the AI voice chat that picks up the phones and talks to you? And I'm like, you can still tell it's an AI and it gives you a little bit of a lag and whatever, right? With that latest Chat GPT advanced voice mode that came out, did you guys see it?
Haven't seen it. Why don't you explain that one to us?
So if you have a Chat GPT Plus, you can click on the voice mod on the bottom right and you can talk to it. And it's perfect. Like I shouldn't say it's absolutely perfect. You can make it speak to you in any language and you're having a proper conversation with it. You can talk over it, you can talk through it, and you can change it. It's it's there, man. Like I don't know, you guys gotta try it out. Would you see it for yourself? It's completely there.
So that's ChatGPT Plus. That's the one you pay like 20 bucks a month for deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've got that.
So it's got the
I'm
voice
gonna go talk
mod.
to it.
You can talk
Talk
over
to
it.
it.
I'm gonna talk over. So we've
It
had
is
some other AI
perfect.
folks on talking about how you develop that, get the branding, get the build. We had Stephanie Davinskas on talking about that as well. But Uzi is the one who really blew my mind with having that chat. That it was working, it was going back and forth, and it actually told the customer said, "I want to talk to your supervisor." Well, as a matter of fact, I am your supervisor. I was like, dude, that's like next level shit. I need to have that.
And
Well,
that
and when
was
the AI refunded money, when that wasn't part of what it was programmed to do, because what the customer said made sense, is when I just went, that's amazing, but now I'm really scared.
Right. Totally
But
right.
that was version 0.1. Now it's like it's gone to the level of it's perfect. Like it's a human now. Like you can have a full I have on my car, I just put on the advanced voice mode and I have full on conversations with it. I don't even call my friends anymore.
I mean,
I don't even call it. So,
what do you,
oh my God, you're just talking to us saying, "Hey, how do you think?" Oh, that's so funny. He gave that embarrassed thing. I don't even call
I
my
know,
friends anymore.
yeah,
Are you married?
well, he is
Oh
to
yeah,
his
yeah.
AI now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you have better conversations with your AI than you do your wife, right? Well,
100%. Listen, you can have conversations about everything. Like sometimes I want to like hash out an idea or like look at history and be like, why they do certain things a certain way, and just like go through the different thought processes in my head. I'm like, let's talk to AI about it, and it's like I learned so much more. It's
all
like
right.
having a super smart friend.
Yeah, so, all right, Chat GPT Plus. I need a super. You know what? I think Alan's going to become AI Alan pretty soon. I'm
You
going to call
should
him
be.
AI
Yeah,
Alan.
you need to replace me right now.
Oh my God. All right. So check this out. My daughter is in physician's assistant school, PA school, and she's going to school to help people and be basically a minor doctor or whatever they call them. So here's what she does. She takes notes on her iPad. She has one of the iPad Pros. She takes notes. She sends it to NotetakerAI, and it creates a podcast that actually is a conversation like Alan and you and I are having, right, Uzi? And she sent it to me and my wife, and we're listening to it in the car. Now, it happened to be about thyroids, which we're not going to get into that whole conversation. But I felt like at the end of that, I was sitting there listening. I'm like, oh, I get it. The R4, the R3. Now, when you go to the doctor, they talk about the different. But here's how it went. She took her notes, and the guy would say, "So this thyroid, what's the thyroid do?" And all of a sudden, a lady's voice would pop in. Well, that's a great question. Here's what the thyroid does: it regulates your hormones in your body using different enzymes. And here's the enzymes. They're like L4, L3. I'm probably getting it all wrong. And the guy goes, "Wow, really? So you're telling me that like if I'm a little too warm, it's going to tell me to cool down?" And they're doing all of this, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" All off her notes. And
Yeah,
this is
it's like
notetaker.ai.
it's notebook. It's by
Notebook.ai. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So you know that one.
It's I was like, I should start a podcast. I'm like, forget about it.
So
Now
so
we can
you jump
do
in the
that.
car and you're like, I don't know if you have a name for your AI, but it's like, I'd have a hot girl name for my AI, I guess. And then you're like,
All right. What is your hot girl name?
I gotta think about it.
Mercedes? Amber?
That's too stripper.
Oh,
Maybe Tiffany. I don't know.
Tiffany.
You get, oh,
Amber.
Tiffany, I've had such a bad day. And then Tiffany goes, so tell me, Uzi, tell me about your day. Is that how the conversation starts?
Do you have what it takes to start your own business? Are you tired of the 9 to 5 corporate job and ready to make that leap into entrepreneurship? You need to check out From the Zoo to the Wild, the book by successful entrepreneur Chris Lalomia. This book is a unique perspective on the journey into the wild world of home services and delivering excellence in service while working in customers' homes. Lalomia shares his path to success in this industry, including proven customer relationship strategies, award-winning customer experience processes, and a unique approach to training a team of service technicians to perform at the highest levels. Whether you're a small business trying to scale or a franchise operation, From the Zoo to the Wild will give you the mindset, habits, leadership style, and customer-oriented processes to succeed as a small business owner in the world of home services. So if you're ready to take control of your future, get a copy of From the Zoo to the Wild today, available on Amazon.
It's more like I just run right into it. I don't talk about my day with my AI. I don't need it
Oh,
for support.
because you guys know each other so well. You're like, hey,
Yeah, she
we're
knows
like,
everything about me, and they
There's
know
no
about you from the
foreplay with your
history as
AI.
well, right? No, I'm not trying to. Have you seen that movie, Her?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking the whole time you were talking
Oh,
about
I
that.
know.
I know you guys are thinking that. I don't need that for my AI. I just need them to tell me, hey, what is the logical? How is this in a logical statement? And I say the statement, and then I'm like, hey, tell me, walk me through this idea. Like, what could I do here? What could I do there? It's
Awesome.
like it's
So,
more
so
like
you like a business problem that you throw out and then you hash it out?
not business, more like history or just like philosophy or the way things are. Like I talk about those things, right? In terms of business, not really, not yet.
Wow.
Because
That's
I've
cool.
heard I've heard people can use that for
Yeah, for
business.
business you can,
All
100%.
right. So I've tried a couple of those things.
Yeah.
It seemed very generic to me. I mean, my first shot at ChatGPT, when I said like, "Hey, give me a business outline for," oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what it was now, but it was very generic. You're like, you do this. I'm like, well, those are the 5 easy steps. I mean, I mean, I need next level shit. But now that I can
Yeah.
talk to it, I'm gonna start saying that.
Mm.
And you can start like hashing it. But yeah, in terms of business advice, I find that business is like it's you can talk about it, but at the end of the day, it's about figuring out what works for your market and works for your business. You're a scientist at the end of the day, right? And just
Yeah.
because they tell you this would work, that would work, doesn't mean it's gonna work. You just have to figure it out for yourself.
All right, so let's go back to the car. I know, Ellen, you're dying to find out what else he's talking about. Maybe he's asking, what's the best way to get directions? How about that? No? Or
I,
you use Google Maps or do you use Waze? This is a holy war, by the way.
This is the
Seriously.
same company now. Isn't Waze by didn't
every
They
Google?
time I
actually Google bought Waze. Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still.
No,
But
every time I use Apple Maps, I just scold myself. Why do I reflexively go there? Because it screws me every single time.
see, all right, so there you go. It's a holy war, and you just picked Satan. Apple
Jesus.
Maps is the worst.
It is the worst,
It is
and and I
100% the
and I
worst.
don't know why I keep doing it. And then I'm like, I got to remember to go back to Waze.
Yeah. Well, but then there's sometimes ways, like in downtown Atlanta, will take me 2 blocks, from a stop sign because there's a little bit of a backup. It'll take me through a neighborhood that has like the 8 foot speed jumps or
Yeah,
humps, whatever you want to call them. I call them jumps because I'm not really slowing down. I'm just getting air in my pickup. So when you see the trusted toolbox coming through on 2 wheels, just think
like
Dukes
the
of
Dukes of
Hazzard, bro.
Hazzard.
I am
Yeah.
flying across. So and I'm like, come on, Waze. So I actually now I'm so bad at this. This is how bad it's getting. I actually do Waze and Google Maps because our CRM,
Of course you do.
we use Google Maps. Then I put Waze on just to see if they're both jiving with each other.
No, I did that just yesterday going down to the airport. We
Isn't it?
actually had all three going. Judy had one on her phone, and I had two.
See, and you're like, oh my God, technology has made it harder. Because if I was blindly just following the old AAA triptych, I just would have followed it.
Oh, I know. And you get to the end of the page that
And
they
you flip the
highlighted,
next
and you
page.
flip it,
And
and
Uzi, this is probably before your
oh,
time, but
way
back in the
before its
day,
time.
we used to have to do trips from, I'm from Michigan and we go to Florida. And my parents would go to AAA and say, we're going from Jackson, Michigan to Fort Myers, Florida. And they would print out a triptych for us and we'd come back and get it 2 weeks later. And it would be this spiral bound, six or with five,
Yeah,
no,
with
like
4 inches by 8 or
4 by
something
8,
like. Yeah.
and it would give you the road, and you would just say, and then you get to the end of the road, and you flip it over, and you get to the end of the road, and you flip it over, and you're going down, and say, it's a 24-hour trip or whatever that my dad insisted
Uzi's
on doing.
probably wondering, how did we even survive as a
How
society?
old do you
Oh, and we
guys
didn't
think
even
I
have seatbelts, bro. Yeah, we weren't even doing seatbelts.
No.
guys, I'm almost 40. Like I'm not that young.
Oh, well, yeah, but we're almost 80. That's
Bro,
I just
I
I just had a
remember we
friend
had
that
to
say,
use
"Hey man, you
map and
look
you
great
go
for
figure out on a
74."
map and
Yeah,
pardon?
he goes, "Man, you look great for 60." I said, "Dude, I'm 54, jackass." He goes, "I know." I'm like, "You're not helping." All
You
right.
you do look good for 60 though.
I
I
know,
gotta,
right?
yeah,
For 60.
amazing. How do you do it?
I did. I'm 6 years younger than that. By the time I'm 60, I'm not going to make it. So, all right. So, Uzi, we brought you back on. We've been chatting about AI, and I think honestly, there's some great gold nuggets that we just figured out just from AI alone right here about what it can do. So, go out and check out for $20 a month. You can start talking to ChatGPT Plus, and I think that's a great idea. But let's talk about this idea you said. Hey, Chris, I don't know if you'd like to have me back on, but I really want to talk about subscriptions in business and how subscription models can work in a business. So, before we get into that, why don't you explain what subscriptions are for everybody, and then we'll start talking about how we can implement them.
So the way I look at memberships is you have it's sort of like how you have AMA in a way, or what do you guys have in your place? Like
What's AMA?
car clubs, towing memberships.
Oh,
You pay
AAA. Yeah, we do.
AAA,
Yeah,
AAA, yeah.
right.
Um,
Been
but
members since 1986.
what I've noticed is that so with our business, my mobile mechanic business, right? So we always used to struggle with the seasonality of the business and this work never coming like we just an average struggle that every business would have. Like sometimes it's really busy, sometimes not busy at all, and every month felt like a grind. And then in 2020, we said, okay, we need to figure out how to get reoccurring revenue that no matter what we do in a month, we're still going to make the same amount of money or more. Like we have at least a baseline coming in. And then we tried everything from like prepaid services, which would be like maintenance plans where you do tune-ups, to selling pre-services, package services in advance, to what we settled down with was just a membership where you paid X number of dollars per year and you would just get discounts and you would get maybe a free inspection as needed. You'd get free towing if we couldn't fix your car on site, and just a bunch of other like small benefits. And that made the biggest difference in the world. 4 years later, we went through a cycle of like up only where it was super busy because, remember 2021, 2022 when everyone was making a lot of money, and then the downturn, and we survived it just fine because we had all this money coming in every month regardless. And then
So
I
with,
realized,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, go. I'm still listening. I'm taking
And
an
then
opportunity.
I was working with some of my clients before in the last 2 years, and the first thing I implemented with them was a membership plan. And then I realized I'm like, as things slowed down for them, they were like the most amazing thing that they worked on. Like the thing that saved them pretty much was a membership plan. Like they had money coming in every month, and they were so grateful they did that.
All right. So membership plan. So this is you did it for the automotive business.
I did for automotive, HVAC, and HVAC.
All right. So in the biz, you go to a homeowner or a car owner, and they
Yeah.
could be both,
Sure.
right? Yeah. All right.
You
Thank you.
could sell 2 memberships.
Right. So you go to them and say, if you buy this membership, if you put your credit card on file, you get this. What is this that makes this compelling for them to say yes?
So it depends. That's the secret code that you got to find for your business. Like everyone thinks that that's going to be that's the answer to
I
that,
know what
but
I'm
it's
going to ask ChatGPT when I get in the car now.
Chris
no.
just wanted an
The
answer that
question.
would transform his
You
business
gotta
in a
I
try
know.
it
I
for
just wanted the
like
easy answer.
I know you guys want the easy answer. I can't give it to you because I've tried it so many times now, and I'm like, what works best for your market? What works best for your customer base, right? Like what would work for me might not work for you. Like for example, when I sell memberships for my mechanic business, on the phone, I say, hey, our diagnostic fee is $180, plus a $35 service call fee. But if you get an Instant Make Prime membership, we're gonna waive the service call fee. They're like, what's Instant Make Prime membership? Oh, it's a membership for $97 a year, and you get waived service call fees, 15% off repairs, um, free towing if your car can't be fixed on site, and a bunch of other things. But it's a very good value. On paper, it sounds like a really good value
All
prop.
right. So let's talk about that for a minute. So you just said $97 for a year, but you
Yeah.
just waived
No,
$180.
I waived $34 for the
Okay, I
service.
waive. All right. So you waive 34. You get
Yes.
97 on the year, but now you got to tow their car in the event that
No,
happens.
you only got to tow the car if you can't fix it on site, which is a very rare possible. It's a very rare
Very rare.
chance,
Okay. All right.
and it's
Cool.
up to $150. And then
All right.
if you're towing your car because you can't fix it on site, you're taking it to a shop where you're making an even bigger job out of it, right? You're making more
Right.
money.
So I
So
think the reason I think a lot of people struggle with the membership is the fact that for $97 a year you're like, but yeah, I could have got that service call fee and get the one, and I could have got the whole thing. I would have had a $400 ticket. Now you're saying I get $97 for the whole year, and I don't see the value in it. So that's where you got to unlock this for us,
yeah.
because I've talked to a lot of people about this, and that's what everybody says all the time. Is like, well, why would I do that? Because I could have made the money.
Can I
Well,
jump in on this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I immediately thought of when Uzi was talking about this isn't necessarily an upfront cash grab. What to me it is it's a loyalty program. So for a nominal fee, you get all this stuff, which you actually may be upside down doing. But what you have is a completely 100%, they're never going to call anybody else. They're calling you for everything that they need.
So it's a loss leader.
it's not, you guys are getting it all wrong.
All right, that's what I want. Yeah, exactly.
Our
I know.
our
No, I'm
company
right.
But
Our
hang on.
Now tell me,
company
I'm going to
is a
send you a
mem
chat. I'm going to give
we've
you a chat
changed it so
GPT.
our business is a member business now, where if you don't get a membership, the cost is so high that it's a no-brainer to get the membership. It like that's it. It's like so the initial cost for the repairs and everything is designed in such a way that it actively penalizes you for not getting membership. And then you get a membership, and then you're like, oh, this is like you get a slightly better than market rate, but not much better.
Okay.
You-
So it's slightly better, 15% off your services, which again, I think we can all afford that and do that deal. But you're saying 97 and you have to put your credit card on file and we bill it
Yeah.
annually.
I build it annually. And I found that, so I also found that just for 4 years now, that if they're gonna cancel right before the first year. But if they don't cancel, they pretty much don't cancel. Like it's like years, become members for years.
And because they're part of your program and they're getting your emails once a month and there and you're top of mind for them, they're coming to you for all their automotive services.
100%. And the thing too is afterwards, the initial diagnostic fee they pay for, right? But then I do free diagnostics after that because
I
I want
got
them to have no qualms of calling me.
I got to know. Uzi is so thoughtful about absolutely everything. I'm sure that he had this hashed out in his chat with his AI in his car. But
Let's
$97,
just call her Tiffany.
Tiffany, so you're talking to Tiffany about $97 versus 98 versus 99. I mean, there has to be a strategy on the 97.
It's psychologically the price that people do when it was some psychological thing that I read back in the day where it's like the price people are most likely to buy at because it feels like it's a deal.
99 sounds kind of like a scam. 97
Yeah,
sounds like a deal.
yeah,
There you
that's
go. Uzi, see, you didn't want to answer the question, but Alan forced you to answer the question. I just wrote down all my membership fees are going to be 97.
everything at 97. It was just a thing that came. I read about it in a long time in the business book, and I was like, listen, man, it doesn't hurt me. 97 bucks, 97
So
bucks.
check this out. I actually just got done landing two monster remodeling jobs, and
Well, no wonder you didn't call me back on mine.
well, your job is it's starting a little small. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Tiffany's going to talk me back into it. So, but on my $180,000 bathroom basement remodel and deck, I should have done 179.97. But
Yes.
but no shit. I will tell you this. I actually must have read the same thing you did, Uzi. I tell all of my guys when we price things and we price materials, we do labor and materials. All of our material numbers end in threes and sevens. So you're like,
Three sounds like you really thought about it. You went down to the penny kind of a thing.
Yeah.
exactly right. Exactly. So it's a precision that we don't have, especially in the handyman business. I don't know. I got two tubes of caulk. Two tubes of caulk right now would run you $14.
Cock has an L in it.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, not the cock I talk about. What?
Jeez.
Hey, if you don't use your finger to smooth it out at the end, it ain't right.
Right.
I've already. Hey, I've trained all my handymen. We have potty talk once a year, and then we have caulk talk, and we talk cocks. And I'm like, look, they all come in different sizes, different size tubes. Size doesn't matter. Okay, they're all different colors. There's black, there's white, there's sanded. Oh my god! But you know what you got to do is you got to always make sure you crack the tip, and then we crack the tip. You got to make sure it's oozing out the right way because you got to have constant flow. So you know what? All my handyman listened, and I got Uzi embarrassed. Don't worry, Tiffany.
So all I'm thinking right now is if you were a politician, how that could be taken out of place in
Oh,
the
it's so bad.
Yeah,
And
Chris
actually,
can't run for
and
office.
actually, no, there's no way I can run for office. And actually, I've got a TikTok out there about that whole cock talk, but it's a different thing. It's all clean. All right, it's really not. Back to this. You got me off on the cock. All right, so memberships at 97, but I do sevens and threes. So I love the idea. 97 is well thought out. So you've been doing this since 20. That's 4 years. How many people have you been able to sign up on that?
I've got almost 4,000 cars.
4,000.
And it was
Dude.
unbelievable how the reason why. So I told you guys I've been kind of like hands off my mechanic business, right? Like,
Right.
and when I said hands off, I didn't even know the numbers of my business for 6 months. I had no idea what the numbers were. And I looked at them like, how are we still in business? And I realized because our call volume dropped so much. And I looked at the numbers like, how are we still in business? I'm like, oh my God, we have so much money coming in from Prime revenue. And then I talked to the guys. They're like, yeah, we pretty much only do Prime customers. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, we're effectively membership business. Why can't every other business should be a membership business? Because we had this thought process back then. And you know what it is? It's like, I just don't think people think they can do it because, and there's probably a mindset thing to it. And the other thing is, it feels like such a long-term thing that they just don't feel invested into it. I don't know. I feel like it solves all problems.
It's interesting because I remember on our last time we spoke, the auto business was actually kind of driving you crazy, if I remember correctly. And the HVAC seemed easier, more
Yeah.
lucrative. But
Uh,
with using this membership model, suddenly you're kind of all
I
excited about your
well,
automotive.
I just didn't look at the numbers for a while. That's what it was. I was so detached from it. Like I've been so detached from it for like 4 or 5 years now, right? So
Wow. Dude, how about that? I can't wait to say that. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
why, how would well, because you're very detached anyway with all your trips to Vegas and stuff. But how nice would it be to just
well,
sort of forget about a business for 6 months and look at it and go, oh,
speaking of that, Alan,
what,
so
what,
next week when we
what
talk,
are you doing?
yeah, so I'm not going to Vegas. I'm going to the Rose Bowl, which you helped me figure out where the seats are. And then I'm going to SoFi. So we're doing a boys trip to watch a lot of football. And I can't even talk about what I did over Halloween because I'm still recovering and it's a week later. But that was a Thursday night Halloween. It was a
About
Friday
50
night lights. It was a Saturday night South Carolina Tennessee game. I get up at 5:30 in the morning, drive back to Atlanta, and go to the Atlanta Falcons game.
God.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
went to a Halloween party?
On Thursday night,
What'd you dress up as?
I was Jesse from the Righteous Gemstones. Do you know what that one is, Uzi?
No.
Oh, all right. They make fun of Southern preachers. All I'm saying is, little kids coming up to get candy might have heard, "I'm just turning water into wine. I'm just turning water into wine." All right. So back to the subscription idea, the membership program. So you figured this out in the automotive business, but you've been working with a lot of HVAC companies. So talk to me a little bit about how you implement it for the HVAC companies, because I've heard a lot about
Yeah.
this program, and actually I'm also a member of one here because I have my own HVAC company that does this for me.
So when it came to HVAC companies, I made the mistake of including tune-ups in the membership program, right? And now I learned that if you include, like this was a mistake that I made before too with my initial membership program where I pre-sold oil changes and stuff like that. You didn't actually make money. You just have a liability on your balance sheet. You just borrowed money ahead of time. So it's not a real membership program. That's just like you borrowing money from customers. A real membership program is one where you get paid, but you don't owe anything in return. There's no services I guarantee. There might be some promotions and offers that I guarantee. And you know what? If someone uses every single one of them, you might end up upside down. But I can tell you from the 4,000 ones that I have, I've I don't think I've been upside down in any of them. So,
All
but
right. So I want
that's
to, all right. I have not been
effectively
upside down on any of them. I wish I could say that about my business. Um, I've never lost money with any
What's your
customer.
retention rate?
Yeah, that's
um,
actually exactly
Was that a good
that's what I got to look at that, but I think it was
question?
close to like 60%.
60.
If they and that's if they don't cancel in the first year, that moved up to like 80%. Like it was something stupid.
Wow.
So the first year is the most scary part, and I have to now figure out a strategy for that.
So let's unpack this. Like how I did that, huh? Look at me
I like the smug look on your face when
when
you
I use
said
the
that.
word unpack.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
So what's the subscription service for HVAC?
so for subscriptions, it would depend on what your what would work in your market.
All right. So I
But
got
I would
two. I
go
got 2 units, or I got 3 units. Hypothetically, I have 3 units. Okay, I have three.
so I would do like hypothetically, I would do first of all, it doesn't matter per unit. You want to keep it as simple as possible. Like the
Okay.
one
All right. So
mistake
you
you
don't do
can
it by units. Okay.
no.
Because my guys do it by unit. Okay.
I don't do by unit because I don't want to overcomplicate it. There's no tiered packages, there's no gold, premium, whatever. It's just here's a membership program and here's what it includes. Okay. So might be free service call fees. Calls when anything goes wrong with your unit, you get 15% off repairs. You get priority booking. Um, and then you can do something like this. You can be like, hey, if we inspect it, or we can increase your warranty. Like instead of having we double the warranty on all the work that we do. And then
Hmm. That's an easy one too, because a lot of times what we say in our world in the handyman thing is we do 1 year on workmanship. And I've had guys who said, I've actually talked to other handymen. They're like, oh, I do 10 years. I'm like, you got to be kidding, right? I said, if you replace a window or, do some trim repair and they don't paint it after 10 years, that's not your problem. So but back to Uzi's point, if you said, hey, I offer a 1 year normally, but if you join the membership program, I'm going to give you a 3 year. 3 years, I'm fine with.
you know what I do? I do unlimited warranty as long as you're a member on parts only.
Oh, nice. Because you get, see, that's the other thing. And I go back this, I just had somebody ask me the other day, would you do this all over again? I'm like, no. What? I said, no, I would have started I would have either bought or started an HVAC company because in HVAC, you can't DIY it anymore. You
Yeah.
can't, because you can't touch a Freon. You can't get your hands on a condenser coil. You can't. But for my world, anybody can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, any of the big box stores. They know exactly how much the part I'm providing to them is. And they're like, well, why am I paying more? And we say, well, you're paying because my guys are going there and picking out the right stuff. They know what to pick out. You don't have to worry about picking it out, and you can make that happen. So suck it. Sorry.
Maybe if he called me back on my smaller job, he'd You might get that one.
I'm well,
Might be
you know,
valuable to you.
actually,
Bunch of little peons
for the
like me.
listeners, I'm actually going out there to warranty his door because nobody in my company seems to know how to fix his door. So I'm going out to figure out
I'm
why.
getting the man coming out to
That's it.
fix my door.
And I'll tell you what, motherfucker, that by the time that thing's done, that door's swinging
Yeah,
and opening and closing like butter.
but Judy wants
It makes so much
big
sense in
deck
it.
to be like the small deck.
Oh, good.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm coming.
See?
We're going to talk decks now, huh?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Decks and caulk.
Well, honestly, I don't have deck envy.
I would say unlimited warranty for a handyman business does make sense as long as you're a member. They're paying every year, and they call you're your first guy they ever call for a small reason. Like
So
the
you
goal,
warrant. So what you do is just warranty out your labor, but charge them for the parts.
yeah, exactly. And you're giving money off the parts, right?
Yeah,
But
I will tell you though, you're right. We do have a warranty program, and I've actually honored things outside of 1 year, of course, because I'm in a business for 16. You gotta it's your honor, right? But when you go out
you
there, what happens? You get more work.
Yeah, I just want whatever membership plan I have to make sure that these guys keep calling me back. So they're actually paying me for the privilege of me being their first guy. And then on top of that, if you're super smart, like I just take that money and I pay
Isn't that
myself.
what I said at the beginning?
You,
It's a loyalty program.
yeah, I
That's
know.
100% of what I
I
said.
know, but I'm
I was
so
right.
all right. So
It's a loyalty program.
I'm acting like a lot of people. But actually, I'm in a part of a mastermind group, and I would tell you we kicked this thing around because I had the Home Hub membership program. I think I'm overpricing it right
Did you
now.
say home hump?
Home Hub,
Oh,
please. Oh my God, Tiffany, we're back to the strip club, aren't we? All right. So back to the no dirty talk. I mean, Uzi doesn't like that stuff.
you seem flustered.
Me
Yeah, you do.
on the home hump.
You can't tell if I'm flustered or
He actually does have. He's got a good face. I did get him with the cock talk, but we'll go back to this. So,
not.
but I like this because, guys, I will tell you that I'm part of a mastermind group. You guys have heard me talk about the group I'm in Atlanta. I got another call about that one asking how they could join. I'm like, well, you got to be in Atlanta because we're not virtual. But anyway, we've talked about this. I've watched in 6 years, I've watched three companies exit. Two of them who've exited realized that the value of having a membership or a recurring revenue model turned their values that they could, basically their multiple up enough to where they went, hey, because in home services, if you don't know what your net is, you got to figure that out. If you think you're going to sell it, you're really only going to sell it for three net if you're lucky. And everybody here listening, you just heard that nugget from me. Three net if you're lucky. Go ahead, email me, Chris at the Trusted Toolbox. Tell me why you better than me, because I'm telling you, I've watched it all happen. But guys who had recurring revenue, membership programs, subscription programs, they were getting twice and sometimes two and a half that multiple of the three that I just talked
Oh,
about.
so much easier for a buyer to look at that and go, yeah, I want that.
Right, exactly right. So a great business to run, but also a great business if you're thinking of an exit down the road because you've got that. But the other thing you've got, Uzi, you just talked about that, and I talk about this all the time. You have repeat customers, and they know how to work with you, and it makes it so much easier for all of your technicians or your craftsmen to go out there and work.
It
That's a
solves
good
all
point,
business
Chris.
problems.
Thanks.
It solves all business problems. You can hire technicians because you know you're gonna be you got work coming in. You have money coming in no matter what, right? And if you're really smart and entrepreneurial, you'll take your membership money and you'll reinvest it into marketing right away. Leverage it up and try to get even more work from it. Like I am not the smartest businessman, so I take that money and I pay myself with it. But if you were better
Somebody's got
than
to
me,
pay for that Model Y.
someone's got to pay for it, right? So I got bills to pay, right? And I told my business partner, I'm like, this will keep us incentivized to just focus on the business. Because if our membership rates go up, our salaries go up, right? But you could reinvest that into marketing and use your existing customers' money to get even more customers and more money in the door, right? And grow your business. Are you guys seeing what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it
no,
just like
you,
such a perfect thing in my
you
mind.
you're making well, yeah, well, I know, but you're way smarter than we are. But no, I totally
Combined.
get that because he did say 4,000 customers at 97. I can't do that math, but I could do 100 times 4,000, and that's definitely more than 4,000. So,
You are dizzying.
but think about that number just on the annual revenue. I just did the same number with somebody else, but I know Alan, you want to make a point, so I'm
No,
gonna
no, I actually want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Maybe you can help our listeners if they're thinking about doing something like this. Walk through the thought process on it because you have to have a price that's compelling, you have to have an offer that's compelling, and it ultimately has to be profitable. And what are some of the things that you need to think about? Because it could be that you think you're adding a throwaway to it, and all of a sudden you get upside down, and people have signed in for this thing, and oh my God, I'm actually not making money on this.
So, my process is this. First thing, you have to decide that you're going to be member business, like a membership business. Like it has to be like a all-in decision. You can't just do it half-ass. Number two, you have to look at your prices and be like, okay, what's the bare minimum I need per job? And then you have to increase your prices by an X number. And that's going to, so the bare minimum you need, I mean, the number that you're happy with is going to be your new baseline number. And you're going to add to that as your non-member price. So that way you'll never be upset with the price you're going to get paid, right? So your members will still pay a rate which you're happy with. And your non-members are now going to get penalized for not being members. That's part of being a membership business, right?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't give people a choice, it's a very different conversation to be having. Versus you're like, oh, join our membership plan, you get this discount, but like you don't really care about it that much, right? But now you're saying, well, we're a member-only business. We care about our members the most. If you want to be part of my family, you'll pay this price, which I'm happy with. If you're not, I'm gonna penalize you for it by paying a super high premium.
Oh, he did it again. Damn it.
What's that?
I'm going to keep talking about this one over. I know when I sleep on it because I need to sleep because I'm old. And then wake up, go to the bathroom, and sleep again. But anyway, back to this. He said it. Hey, you want to be part of our member program? Then great. If you don't, then go take up Jackleg. Hello, Costco. Right? How many times have I gone out of my way to go to Costco just to get toilet paper and get gas? A lot. Yes, that's the
Have
answer.
you actually ever just walked into Costco and just bought toilet paper?
No.
Yeah.
Every time I walk out of there,
You fill the cart.
I
Yeah,
do
you
every
can't
time,
buy
man.
one
Yeah.
thing.
When you walk in there and they have the little special buys on the right, you're like, oh, it's a special. And then I follow, of
And
course, I
then the
follow
food
the,
samples. Ooh, that's yummy. One of
oh,
those
yum,
every time.
yum, man. Oh my God, it filled me up. And I'm like, oh, you know what? And then I feel guilty because I go, oh, I like that one. So I go buy it. Have you ever done that?
Sure.
Those people can give two shits if they're going to buy it or not, but I do it anyway, right? Are you a Costco member?
It's just I am, and there was a study that was done where if you shop at Costco, you actually spend more money on groceries than going to the grocery store directly.
Shit. I'm
You
still
don't
doing it.
actually end up ahead. That's the best part about Costco. They give this illusion that you end up ahead, but a study was done that showed that that's not true.
So
And that's why it's even more of a brilliant. Have you seen their stock? It's the most up-only stock in the world because they know that.
right? God dang it. Man, I knew I should have bought that one. Damn it. That the CEO had a new board come in or whatever, had a board said, we have got to raise our rates on the hot dog and their Coke price, their hot dog
Yeah,
and
buck 50.
yeah. And he goes, no. And they're like, and I guess it was a knockdown drag out the board, which you could understand, right? They're not losing money, but they're not making anything on those hot dogs and drinks. But people flock into there, you watch it at my Costco. They'll get one slice of pizza, but their cart will be runneth over. I mean,
Mhm.
and sometimes they have two carts. You're like, dude, they paid for that
Then,
pizza
and
over
then
and
don't
over.
forget that story you just told. You're gonna tell people that story, right? And now people are
Right,
gonna go Costco. They care so much about keeping our prices low, and it just adds to the lore of Costco, right?
right.
And people won't even question it, even though the stats show that it's actually cheaper to go to your local supermarket
I'm not
and just
doing it. I'm going to
right.
Costco. I love it.
Exactly.
I'm a
This is
Costco
all part of
snob.
a brilliant business.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even go to Sam's Club. We actually are about to get a free Sam's Club membership, and I'm like, I'm not going there. You know why?
Because you're a Costco snob
I
like
am a
me.
Costco snob.
Yeah.
And I go in there, I'm like, it's the best food ever. It's the best prices ever. And when I see clothes, I'm like, oh, I'm buying Costco clothes.
Yeah.
I've
The
You
done
got
it
really
too.
Costco
close
shirt.
though.
Yeah, nice. Uzi, this has been awesome, man. So, memberships, subscriptions, whatever word you want to use, recurring revenue is a definite unlocker, not only in business if you want to stay in it, but if you're thinking about selling it, another idea to talk about. But how you do it, how you structure it, he gave you those tenets you got to look at. What is the value of your customer? What value can you provide back to your customer? And then go offer that number that makes it so compelling that they have to do it, right?
Uzi, do you actually help people create a membership program?
Yeah, I do help people do that. So if anyone's interested, they can just go on my website and just reach out to me and I can walk them through it, the different processes that I've done. Um,
Drop the website, big guy.
conwoodautomation.com.
That's cottonwoodautomation.com.
Yep, yep.
Right thing. Look how I did that.
And
I'm working
I'm
on a
gonna
jingle
try.
right
You
now.
punched it up.
I did. I'm punching it up. I'm working on a jingle right now. Cottonwoodautomation.com.
I just came up with that name randomly. Like I need to change that name. It means nothing.
I
But
know. You said that last time. I was
yeah,
gonna bang on you for that one because I was like,
It's so wholesome. I
it,
like it.
well,
I
it's a
trust
name
them.
that means
but I don't
nothing,
know
right?
what it does.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I trust
I mean,
them.
what is cotton? What is wood?
What is
Oh,
Cottonwood.
there you
yeah,
go.
Is
The
it cotton? It's a
wood, the
wood.
caulk,
tree,
and the
a
Caulk,
tree,
wood,
a big
deck.
tree,
I don't have deck envy. It's what? Cottonwood is a what? It's a special tree?
a tree. That's all it is. It's such
I,
a plain Jane
you
name.
didn't
Like it
know
means
cottonwood is a tree, dumbass. You're in home improvement.
I'm in home improvement. I know cottonwood is a tree.
nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'll say it right here on the podcast. And you stop listening to me. I actually don't even own a gun. And I live in Georgia.
It's required to
I
have a
know.
gun in
I don't
Georgia.
even own
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
I know.
God. I'm
I
going to
know.
report you.
Yeah, you can't.
We're
But there's a
gonna
reason
report
there's no
him
gun.
too.
Right? Uzi, do you have a gun in your house?
I have in front of me my license that I need to submit.
Oh, so you're going to get one.
I
Yeah,
want to
he's
get one.
over. Yeah, Alan's over here stocked up for the end of the world. I know where I'm going. If we ever get invaded here in the
That's
U.S.,
what I tell
I
people. That's what my friends tell me too. Same thing.
what I'm
You
going
gotta,
there.
you gotta have the Allen. I'm the Allen. My
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna load
You
up.
want to be the
Nice.
Allen in
yeah,
this
come to my
scenario.
house.
You do want to be the Alan in this scenario because you don't want to
Yeah,
be the Chris.
No.
Hey, can we
no.
talk about this for a minute? Push.
You're like, Chris, you kind of look nice and juicy. You know?
Whoa, don't kill. Whoa, where are we going? All right, everybody, don't forget if you're going to use caulk, you got to make sure if you're not finishing unless you wet your finger and stick your finger in that crack to smooth it out. All right, everybody, been a great episode. Uzi, you dropped it again. Go out there and take a listen. Hey, don't forget to tell your friends. Don't forget to go out there and check us out. If you stay this long, that means you're somebody who wants to get better at what you're doing. Let's all get better. Let's keep going up that mountaintop. We're out of here.
Cheers, everybody.